Under the circumstances, because it was an accident and no one came forward, those statute of limitations have long since expired. There's no threat to that individual to come forward now.
Wait, hold on. I think I went too far ahead. As many of you know, my dad was killed in a hit and run on October 18th, 2013. If you don't know, you can catch up onto the playlist over to the right. Now that you have, before I get into it, I've yet to go over the GRAMA report with you all. This process costed me significantly less than I thought it would, like $25 or something like that. So what happened? My dad crashed on the interchange of I-80 eastbound to I-15 south on the off-ramp of 600 south. He was pulling double tankers at this time that were both empty. When he crashed, he had partially his trailer blocking the left lane. Nobody knows how this crash happened. My dad got out of his truck with his tire pressure gauge and possibly his purple flashlight. It was assumed in the report that he may have been trying to warn oncoming traffic. Later on, when the police came to investigate, they did find smushed apple on his shoe, while also finding an apple smushed in the left emergency lane. This is behind the truck, so north of the truck to give a better visual. At 6:35 a.m., the police received a call from someone who had stopped to help my dad. They stated that my dad was breathing, but not responsive. His head was facing away from the trailer on the north side, and his feet were towards the trailer on the south side, with him facing towards the travel lanes in fetal position on his right side. His head was bleeding. A life flight could not land there safely in the spot he was at, so he was transported by the ambulance. The first person who stopped stated in their report that it was dark and there was no traffic. They saw a tire pressure gauge in my dad's hand. The next person who stopped happened to be a nurse, and they provided aid until the ambulance arrived. They stated in their report that my dad had minor road rash, closed head trauma, and was not responding to their questions. They also put in there that his eyes were pinpointed and unresponsive. There were no skid marks. The roads were dry. Police found shards of the purple flashlight scattered around. They also found a left view mirror, which was suspected to be from the vehicle that may have hit him. At 3:40 p.m., my dad passed away from the injuries he received from that accident. The lead officer on this case went to a junkyard to see if they could find a matching mirror to the one they found at the crime scene. The junkyard helped him identify it being a Geo Metro or Chevy Metro from the years of 1995 to 2001. When media made headlines of looking for this Geo Metro from 1995 to 2001, there were call-ins, but every one of those call-ins were reporting the right side view mirror being the missing part on the vehicle, not the left side view mirror. However, I noted that media headlines were not asking about a Chevy Metro from the years of 1998 to 2001, which is when Geo rebranded as Chevy. They were asking specifically for a Geo Metro from 1995 to 2001. This makes me suspect that it may be a Chevy Metro from 1998 to 2001. This part frustrates me a lot. I did make sure to let Jason know, the investigator I hired, about this so that he could look further into it. If you're wondering how I found him, when I was looking for a PI, he was recommended to me from one of the other ones I asked.
That's really his forte.
As well as he had the best overall price. Another green flag was when I called him 6 months later, he remembered my case. I wanted to start this process in March, however it got pushed back to late June. If you're wondering how much it cost me, Jason charged me $3,500 plus any fees that come up, such as flights or anything along those lines. He was by far the cheapest compared to the other private investigators who charge $100 to $150 an hour plus mileage on their car. If you're wondering how I got the money for this, I got a loan. I definitely got some looks from my friends when I told them that I got a loan for this, but to be 100% real with you guys, I really don't care. I have been wanting to do this since it happened, and knowing what I know now, I can't do it alone. I don't care how much it costs. If this gets me closer to closure, that's all that matters to me. What's crazier is that this person who did it will face no charges. Yeah, that's what Jason was talking about at the beginning, if you didn't catch that. There are statutes of limitations of how long you can go after someone. Basically, you can only go after someone for a certain crime for X amount of time. I decided to call a law firm because when I talked to Jason, he said that it could be up to 4 years. When I called the law firm, this is what they told me.
The Good Guys. Thank you for calling Good Guys Injury Law. This is Bev. How can I help you?
Hi. I have like a really odd question.
Thank you for holding. So for a wrongful death, generally it could be 4 years, but sometimes it's 2 years for a wrongful death.
Okay, so after 2 years you can't like legally go after them or anything like that, or sorry. If I can just get some clarification on that.
Correct, yeah. Oh, yes. Sometimes, well, the attorney did say sometimes it is 2 years, depending on the circumstances.
Gotcha.
Auto accidents are 4 years, but yes, generally. Does that answer your question?
I think so. Let me just get some clarification. So, after like 2 to 4 years, if someone dies from a hit and run, you can't go after them for like jail time or illegality or like suing them or anything along those lines.
That's my understanding. Just like I say, even to pursue an auto accident where there's not a wrongful death, it's 4 years. That then after that, you can't pursue anything. But the attorney did tell me that with a wrongful death, even with it sometimes is a 2-year statute, but it's definitely, if it's been almost 10 years ago, that statute has run out.
So 2 years is how long you can go after someone for wrongful death. But I didn't get this far looking for justice. Nothing will bring back my dad. That's all there is to it. I want closure. I want to know what happened. Whoever you are that did hit my dad, I don't know why you ran. I don't know if you were under any influence. I don't know what happened. I don't know anything. I want to know. I've thought about this for a long time. Give us some level of closure. If you guys want to help get this person's attention, share this video, like this video, so that way we can grab their attention. There's still a lot of questions that I have. Why did my dad crash to begin with? Why did he get out of the truck? If you guys happen to know anything about this case that I don't, email me at simplybforest@gmail.com. I'll have it right here as well as in the description of this video. If you're wondering if Jason has found anything so far, he has. He sent me over a car report, and not to give too much information, this report basically showed that this car had regular maintenance all the way until August of that year. All of a sudden, it went dark. Then later, the next year, it reported having damage on the left side with no crash being reported from what I saw. Jason hasn't said anything since then. I have touched base with him here and there, but it doesn't seem like he has anything too concrete and he doesn't want to get my hopes up, which I totally understand. So maybe you're wondering, what's my next step? I'm not going to just wait for this investigation and do nothing. I'm doing everything I can to find some sort of closure. So my next step right now is to find a median. If you don't know, a median is someone who talks to people that have crossed over onto the other side. If you're skeptical of this, I too am skeptical of this. But if it helps me find some sort of closure, I'm willing to try almost anything. If you want to see how that process goes, I will be posting it here, so subscribe if you'd like to see that. For anyone who has made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate you for getting this far, watching this, and giving me all of that support. It means a lot to me, and I can't say thank you enough. As always, peace, love, happiness. Until the next one, I'm out.